No. 5 quick questions, Doug.
Okay, 5 quick questions.
How many kilometers of trail?
There's approximately 134 kilometers of trail.
Wow.
Yeah, and it covers a area that's 17 kilometers wide by 34 kilometers, actually more than that, more like 100 kilometers wide and long.
And this flat spot wasn't here the last time I was up here. How long did this take to put together?
This was due to the city's efforts, and it's taken about 3 weeks altogether. The club put the dividers on and the kiosk and the outhouse and the picnic table up. The city did a great job on preparing it and getting the gravel here.
How many members does the club have now here?
100 members.
100 members.
There's also a staging area similar to this at Stewart Creek and at Gilpin Creek Forest Service Road, in which we all feel that it gives the people a chance to pull off the road, sit on a comfortable spot, have an outhouse, a little bit of a sign showing the trails and so forth.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you all for coming. This is the opening of a fantastic project that the many partners of the Boundary Country Trails Agreement have worked on. My name is Doug Zorn. I'm the Vice President of the Grand Forks ATV Club. I'm not going to go through and try and introduce everybody that's here. I will point out our partners in the project as we go through. We will be having a few people come up and say a few words about the project and about how they feel about the project. So, thanks for coming out. Just a bit of history about the ATV Club. The ATV Club was formed in 2008. There were 11 members that were ATV enthusiasts and wanted to make sure that we were protecting our right to ride and to try and bring more of an emphasis on people's behavior on the trails. We try to make sure that people are educated as far as what the proper etiquettes are on the trails and when you approach wildlife and other users on the trail. So now we are in 2014 and the ATV Club has reached about 100 members. This is our secretary, Pat Blue. Jim Birch is right here. Jim is our treasurer. We're missing our president, Cody Zorn, and another director, David Davies. Miss anybody? No. Okay. And so it's been a real great group to work with. We have a projects and events committee, and there's several members of the projects and events committee that have worked hard on this project. There's several partners in this. One of the main partners, Ann Jensen, is here from the Job Creation Program.
Ministry of Social Development.
Ministry of Social Development. And Ann has been a very great partner. And at this point we're going to be presenting, this is a partner logo page. So all of the partners will be getting one of these. And Pat is going to be my hander-outer. So if we could present that to you, please, Ann.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for all of your efforts and all of your...
Glad to help take this on from the province. And we did have a little tour, and it was a great job. I'm really proud to be representing, you know, the province and giving a contribution. And the work by the participants and the work by the participants on the project and clearing it is great to see, and I'm sure that they've learned lots from the work experience there. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was all right? Yeah. At least they didn't go like this and haul you over. Community Futures has played a big role in the start of this project and all the way through it, and helping find people to work in the job creation part of it, and as well helping us in some of the finer details of the granting. So Sandy, would you like to come up on behalf of Community Futures, and we'll...
Thank you. I'm not going to make a speech like Cam did, but thank you very much, Doug. It's been a pleasure.
Gord Nichols, and he was a boundary mapping in the boundary country for several years. He has been very instrumental on the things that the couple has accomplished in the last few years. And Gord's not here today, but a big thank you goes out to Gord. The Ministry of Lands, Forests and Natural Resources, Justin Dexter and Travis Mitchell, they couldn't make it here today, but they have been a very big part of this. Without them, we wouldn't have the kiosks or the picnic tables or the outhouses. Area RDKB, Area C, Grace McGregor, and Area D, Rolly Russell. Rolly, if you could come up just for a second here and we'll give you one of these. Grace couldn't make it today, but Rolly, thank you very much for your contribution to the project.
Thank you.
Hi.
Did you want to say a few words as well?
No, I don't. Well, I guess the coalition of different trail users is a really kind of inspiring piece of kind of local economic development. So I'm really pleased to see this. It's nice to see. Congratulations.
Thanks, Bill. Phoenix Foundation, George Longden. Phoenix Foundation has been a great supporter of the ATV Club for several years. They have helped us out with equipment, and this year they helped us out tremendously with this project. So thank you very much, Gord.
George.
Oh, sorry, George.
It's fine.
I do that a lot.
That's okay.
I'm getting old.
I'm going to speak on behalf of two organizations, just to sort of make it short. The Phoenix Foundation, as you well know, is very supportive of initiatives that groups in the community collaborate on a common goal. I'm pleased the way that the Boundary Trail Users Agreement has led to this kind of development. We're very pleased to be able to partner with all the other organizations, and we're very pleased to see the result. So I'm going to speak also on behalf of the Grand Forks Community Trails Society, of which I'm a member. Doug and our president of our society were the original signers of the Boundary Trail Users Agreement, which is a historic document. It's the first time that all of the groups in a community have come together with a common goal, and this model is now being transplanted to other communities across the province. So thank you.
Thank you. Well, you can come up when we announce the one for the Grand Forks Trail. Okay, the City of Grand Forks has been a real strong supporter of this project, and I'd like to recognize Brian Taylor, our mayor, as well Roger Houston, and as well David Reed at the back there. Without you fellas, this indeed wouldn't have taken place. As well, Sarah Winton, I'm sure, was in there somewhere. She works for the city. And Cher. And Bob Kendall. And Gary Smith.
So I'd like to say how proud we are of this endeavor. This is really something. It shows the kind of cooperation in our community that is unusual and should be celebrated. I attest it to the background of our community and having a lot of counterculture people here in the 60s and a whole variety of people from communal living who believed in peace. I think it's given us a legacy of cooperation. So I see it in things like the multi-agency project and in projects like this. So congratulations. I'd like to make a comment on the fact that if we don't use it and value it, we lose it. And so access to our wilderness area in a controlled way through these kinds of vehicle trails is the very best that we can do in terms of ensuring that we don't forget what we've got out there. My feeling is that if it's invisible, we're going to lose track of what we've got. So there are areas to be protected, but I think this whole system of trails and the vehicles that you have now are wonderful. So from the old Ford tractors we used to use in the old days, it's a big improvement. So good work, and we're really proud of you.
Thanks, Brian. Unifab Industries, they help support us. They've been a great partner. They've built and supplied the benches for us. when you get a chance later on, you can have a look. On the back of the benches, there are heritage signs. The heritage signs depict different areas. That particular one will be placed over on the far side of Lost Lake, and it looks right down and over top of the slag piles. And so that's quite an interesting one there. So Unifab Industries. Ministry of Transportation, Stephanie Gillis has been a real strong component to the project. MCON, Rick Wright. Inter4, Randy Waterous. Randy, if you could come up and get one of these, that'd be great. Inter4 has been a great partner with us. They've helped supply needed materials and been very cooperative in pointing out where we should be and shouldn't be.
Thanks very much, Doug. And just a couple of quick words on behalf of Inter4. It's when you see all the names of the partners involved, it's a great demonstration of collaborative effort that can go into a project like this. A wide variety of stakeholders and partners, and a great use of our combined use of our outdoor recreation values. So, thanks, Doug.
Thanks, Randy. BC Timber Sales, Gordon LaSargent and Jeff, and I apologize, but I don't remember Jeff's last name, but both Gordon and Jeff have worked together with us and pointed out again where BC Timber Sales are and what their influence is on it. Boundary invasive species, Barb Stewart. I think we're all aware of the importance that weeds is playing in our area and the spread of a particular nasty one, which is Horiolisum. It's something that the members are all very aware of and do sweep off, blow off their machines. We feel that with the club being active and with other multi-users on the trail, if we can have everybody being the eyes out there and noticing when you get a particular species come up, which would be, come on, help me out, guys. What was that one that she, the hogweed or something?
Yeah, purple vetch is another one.
Yeah, yeah. And so there's all sorts of them out there, and what we want to do is try and reduce the amount that is spread by the users. So by having well-maintained trails and people sticking to the trails, we hope to do that. So Barb Stewart of the invasive species. Christina Lake Gateway Project has been a partner with us from the beginning. They're working a lot more on the Stewart side. So they've been helpful. Grand Forks Trail Society, so we'll get George to come up again. Chris Moslin and George have been very instrumental in helping us, and we've worked together well. As George was pointing out, Chris and myself, and George, was very instrumental in getting the Boundary Country Trails Agreement together. As George mentioned, it's one of the few in BC where we have...
The only one.
The only one? Where we have cooperation and coordination between all users. Thanks, George. Unless you wanted to say something on the trail?
No, I talked already.
All right. The Ministry of Range, Warner Belico and Ray Haddo have been very forthcoming with information, and there are tenure holders in the area, as well as Inter4, BC Timber Sales. There's range land members, Mimo family and Sid Wells, and they are very good partners to work with. The big one that the range people are really concerned with is leaving gates open and closing gates when they're appropriate to be closed. So we've come up with some different plans on how we can do that, and so at this time we'd recognize the Ministry of Range, Warner Belico and Ray Haddo, as well Sid Wells and Mimos. Mimos have also helped us out with their Christina Lake and Gravel. Christina Lake Gravel and Ready Mix. Thanks, fellas. Jenny Coleshill, she's a biologist in the area, and she has helped us out on recognizing different species that are in danger. Some of them are, one right here is the, sorry about that, recording type people. This is the Lewis woodpecker. So there's about 12 different signs that'll be along the trails, and they'll be identifying rattlesnakes, the Lewiston woodpecker. I think there's sort of a spotted little salamander type guy, and there's a couple little mice, and there's a variety of species and plants that are very delicate and you know, we want to recognize what they are, and I think through education we can really make a difference, because the club feels that, you know, over 90% of people want to do the right thing, and if they knew what the right thing was, they would definitely do it, and that part is the education component of this. Fortis BC, they've helped us out with 2 of the trails that come up the power lines. They've said that we could ride on them as long as we don't touch the power lines that are overhead. We're okay. So being that the power lines are considerably higher than we are, I think we'll be all right. But the beautiful trails. Nature Trust. The Nature Trust owns some property just up here. They have 160 acres, and as well in behind us on Morsey, they have another 160 acres there. They've been a partner in this as well. Grassland Parks would be Randy Efflick. He has come forward and said under no circumstances we are to go in there, but hey, we want to have fun and recognize that it's great to be around the park. And we like the fact that at least we are able to talk to the Grasslands people, and as you see in that little booklet, there could be some wiggle room in the future for maybe some tours through the Grassland Park, so that we can maybe help educate folks on what the Grassland Park's importance is and so forth. I see Kevin Gates. Kevin, if you want to come up and get, Kevin is from the Gateway, Christina Lake Gateway Project. Kevin, thank you very much for all your support in the project.
Thanks, Doug.
You want to say a couple of words on how your end of the project's coming?
Sure. So we also have a project going on in Area C, and basically we're doing a promotional piece, and so there's some of this project area in Area C, so we're working together so that we can get the word out about these trails, and then Doug and the ATV Club is working on getting the trails into shape. So it's very complementary, the 2 projects. But,
thanks.
Thanks, Doug.
The Boundary Regional Chamber of Commerce has helped out. The WG signs, the marina has helped out in making the signs up. Brian from Viacom Design. Brian, if you can come up. Brian has been a tremendous supporter of the project. Without Brian, we would be truly lost. His artistic talents are shine through on all of our signs, and thanks, Brian.
Honor to work on such an amazing project here, and thanks a lot.
Alpine Signs at the Lake, they are doing our final version of our signs. They'll be on aluminum. We've tested out the aluminum on some of our signs up to North Fork, and they've really held up well over the years. So Shad has been quite a help on the project. The JC Job Creation Program crew, Don Frew, Tim Stushinoff, and you guys want to come up, and Blair Grant and Peter Shoveldave have all worked hard on the project, and Lawrence Radford. And Lawrence, come on up, you can come up too. Yeah. Without these fellas, we wouldn't be anywhere near where we're at. They've worked hard on the project. Don is the supervisor for the project. He's also a director for ATV, and Don's experience on the trail has really shone through on the project with the water drainage and clearing the trail, and safety. Safety has been #1 for the crew. It's, you know, paramount. These fellows have done a great job, so thank you all very much.
Like George said there about this is the only club that has signed an agreement between 20 different societies, and we as ATVBC would like to promote more in that in the communities, because this here will connect the dots with Greenwood, Midway, Rock Creek, part of the TCT. Maybe we don't want it in the Okanagan. George, you had the stuff here and that, like, it's just the best thing economically for all the communities involved. If you go to Quebec and you look at their revenue service for the multi-trail systems that they have, and I think it was in 1 year they generated $13 million. And this is a good thing. And hopefully it'll continue. Thank you.
Thanks, Don. The Woodworkers Guild have helped us out. As you see, the bench over there, it has a indentation with all of the partners listed, and on the back, if you take a look, is one of the heritage signs. The Moundry Museum has helped out with supplying a bunch of neat old pictures of different things. And of course, the Grand Forks members would like to recognize a whole bunch of people that have helped out. Hal Wright, Jim Birch, Hank Blue, Gary Green, Gary Blakely, Brian Tellerico, Mel Carroll, Henry Van Diemen. He's working right now out at the Gilpin staging area, and Ray Johnson and David Davies, and all of the members that support us. Without the members, we would not be where we are today. Lori Grant.
Yes.
Lori Grant is a person of very interest. She is with the WildSafe BC. And Lori has been hired, I think, through the city and the regional district.
Not the regional district.
To the city.
The city so far, yeah.
And Lori has done great work. If Lori, you want to just explain your project?
Sure, thanks. I was hired by the city of Grand Forks to educate the community on keeping wildlife wild and community safe. So I've been at many events in the city and been at the farmers markets and done door-to-door canvassing in neighborhoods where there have been challenges with animals in conflict. I've done garbage tagging and basically educated wherever I possibly could at the wonderful Doukhobor flour mill. I've even set up booths. So Doug has approached me about offering education at the various venues, either in the form of pamphlets or in the summer having specific discussions like I've done at the library, where we could educate people on how to hike safely, travel safely, and live safely with the animals in our environment.
Thanks, Lori.
Thank you. It's an amazing project.
Thanks. We'd like to also recognize the Gazette. They've helped out several times. We've needed stuff in getting the information out, and they've been a wonderful partner with us. So would you like to come up and get one here for the Gazette, Craig?
Sure.
The RCMP, as much as everybody sort of goes, the RCMP? Well, the RCMP has been a very strong supporter of our projects. They've come, they've talked to us on why we should be doing what we do, like wear helmets and obey laws and so forth. They also have been making an effort to stop in at the staging areas and keep a little bit of an eye on everybody. So far, this site here has it's been phenomenal, the respect that the people have given it. We do end up with a few donuts now and again. I guess people just can't quite resist the temptation to go spinning around in the gravel, but other than that, no, everybody in the community has been very great, and the RCMP has been a good supporter of it. I think that's about it. If you guys want to have a look, these benches, there's going to be 5 of them. They're going to be located, one's going to be up on top of Morrissey Lookout, one's going to be at Lost Lake, the other one, as I said, was going to be just over top of Lost Lake. There's a beautiful view up here. Again, we can't say enough about the people that have helped support this project. So if anybody else would like to come forward and say a few words. Thank you all for coming. It's too bad we couldn't have booked a sunnier day. There are some rides available if anybody wants to go with the club. I think we're going to be going for a bit of a ride here. So thank you all for coming out and supporting the project.
Out on a ride?
Doug Zorn.
Hi.
Happy birthday.
Silly people, don't you know it's raining?
I hear it's your birthday.
I hear it is my birthday.
Birthday hat.
There you go, see?